at the end of the day, we have to be realistic, and it's not about insulting anybody. It's not about, oh, I'm praying and hoping that God will send me an NFL player, NBA player, or an entertainer. That is not God. That is superficial. That has nothing to do with God. That has nothing to, you're asking God for superficial things. God does not look at the status of a man. He looks at the quality of a heart. They said, why did you choose David? Because David was the lowliest of all of his brothers. And it was because of the character of his heart. He was a warrior, and he was also a lover. He was emotional. He could write poetry, but he could beat you up. He was a warrior. He was fighting lions and bears with his bare hands. Okay. So like there was a quality about him that they could not see. And so again, he was like, man looks at the outer appearance. God looks at the heart. So when you over here praying for superficial things and you want God to bring superficial, God's not going to honor that. That's you. That's not God. So when you're on the converse side, when a man's saying, hey, I want this 9, 10, 11 type of female. I want this super, super bad female. It's like, okay, God does not look at the outer appearance. He looks at the heart. Now, do I think that God is not going to send you somebody that you're attracted to? Absolutely not. I think a lot that is BS. That's some BS. I think that is BS when people try to sell this little, oh, he's a nice guy. You're not attracted to him, or she's a nice girl. I'm not attracted to her. No, you need to be attracted. God gave you attraction. God gave you that. That's a gift from God. Your sexual attraction to somebody is a gift from God. That's not right. It can become demonic, as we all can see. Everything without balance can become demonic. But sex in and of itself, or sex, in and of itself is not a bad thing. However, out of the right context it can be a horrible thing. And so again, I say he's not going to send you somebody you're not attracted to. So you don't have to worry about that. But what I will say is that a lot of people, even if they are attracted to him, because they're so married to a certain image, they're not even open to it looking any other way. They're not even open. God, y'all, God told me this weekend, I'm going to be honest with you. There's an epiphany he gave me. And I had said to myself that there was just things I was not going to do ever again. I was like, not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. And God told me that essentially he's like, you need to stop putting these word curses on you, because you're saying certain things. And just because in the past it was painful, that doesn't mean that what I have for you, it may be that, but it may not be that same situation. So I might be saying, oh, I never want to date somebody like this, or I never want to date somebody like that, when the reality is that might be your person. But because you've been hurt by something like that, wouldn't it be just like the enemy to hurt you with the exact person that is meant for you, just so that you would not be able to connect with your purpose partner, so that you would not be able to get into a covenant and honor him with what you have? It would be just like the enemy to send. Remember the song by Usher? You remind me of Nathan, you ain't never lied. Sorry, y'all. He said, you remind me of a girl that I once knew. See her face whenever I look at you. You believe all of the things she put me through. That's the reason why I just can't get with you. He's missing out on a blessing because he's so hurt by his past that he can't even get a new woman a chance, because his past girl who done cheated on him scarred him so bad that this new girl he can't even give you a chance. I'm telling you, you remind me of how many people do that, y'all? We meet somebody and it's just like, it would be just like the enemy to send somebody to absolutely break your heart, so that the person that was meant for you, you would miss, you would ignore, you would avoid, so that you would not connect with the person that you are meant to connect with. I heard a quote before that said that that God or the enemy discourages you most in the area that God is going to use you the most in. And so a lot of times the area we feel the most opposition in, or we're facing the most, like the hardest climb, is the area that God is going to use us the most in. And I feel that way in relationships. We were created for relationships. We can talk about we don't want them. We can talk. Now I think it's dangerous. This relationship space has become like men versus women and all this other stuff. And it's like, it's not healthy, obviously, because we were created for connection. And most of the people telling you to stay away from women, and most of the people telling you to stay away from men are with women or are with men. Like, they just are utilizing your pain and your trauma and trying to profit off of your pain. They're utilizing that and profiting off of it. And it's been proven, but because people are so hurt and blinded by their pain and their own traumas, that they continue to buy in to what these people are saying. No, you were meant to be connected with somebody. You were created to be connected to somebody. But the enemy, which y'all, if you have not seen what's going on in the world today, there is an undeniable evil that exists in this world, period. It's an undeniable evil, and it's very, very real. And if you don't see that by now, if there's an undeniable evil, there's an undeniable good, which means there's a spiritual realm that's beyond what we can see. And if there's a spiritual realm that's beyond what we can see, there's an evil force that is at work. And that is clear. That is clear. Just open your eyes. That is clear. That evil force doesn't want you to stay connected. That evil force wants you to get lost in the things of this world. That evil force wants you to get lost in lust of the flesh and the pride of life and all these other things that ultimately leads you to destruction. It ultimately leads you to your demise. And we're seeing that. We're seeing that play out for us in real time. The purpose of this live, for real, is because a lot of us, our standards are too high. And it's not because the enemy has distracted us. We have been distracted by so many different options and so many different things going on that we can't appreciate what is ours. In addition to that, in addition to us being distracted, we're also very much afraid, because he's done a very good job of keeping us afraid, including myself, if I'm being very honest with you guys. Fear. I realize that a part of my high standards, part of why I am the way that I am, is because of fear. They're too high to protect myself. Because a lot of times, if we're truly being honest with ourselves, we use these high walls to keep us safe. That's the truth. Hey guys, thank you for watching this video. I appreciate you guys. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button, y'all. Let's not just be every once in a while. Let's become family, okay? Friends that are family, okay? Join my family today.